Hey guys, welcome back to Click Academics. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to solve this exponential equation. So we have m to the power of 4 equals 4. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. So now we have m to the power of 4 minus 4 equals 0. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change m to the power of 4 to m squared to the power of 2. Because remember, if we have something in the form a to the power of m to the power of n, this is equal to a to the power of m times n. So what I did was I changed m to the power of 4 into the form a to the power of m to the power of n. And we're going to subtract this with, I'm going to change 4 to 2 squared. And this is equal to 0. Now, if we have something in the form a squared minus b squared, this is actually equal to a plus b times a minus b. So in this case, a squared, well, a would be m squared, and b, this would be 2. So if we plug these into this form, we would get m squared plus 2 times m squared minus 2. And this is equal to 0. And now we have two equations. We have m squared minus 2 equals 0. And we have m squared plus 2 equals 0. So let's first start with m squared minus 2 equals 0. So I'm going to write that right here. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to add 2 on both sides. So we get m squared is equal to 2. So now if I take the square root on both sides, I get m is equal to positive or negative 2. So these are two solutions. Now let's go ahead and do m squared plus 2. So if I subtract by 2 on both sides, I get m squared equals negative 2. Now if I take the square root on both sides, I get m is equal to the square root of negative 2. Well, the square root of negative 2, this is the same thing as the square root of 2 times the square root of negative 1. And the square root of negative 1, this is equal to I. So this would be positive or negative square root of 2 I. So m is also equal to this. So these are the 4 solutions to this equation. To Click Academics. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to solve this exponential equation. So we have 2 to the power of m minus 2 to the power of n equals 2016. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to set m equal to n plus k, k being a constant. Now, if this is true, then we also know that n is equal to m minus k. And k is a constant. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace m with n plus k. So I'm going to rewrite this as 2 to the power of n plus k minus 2 to the power of n equals 2016. Now, if we have something in the form a to the power of n plus m, this can also be written as a to the power of n times a to the power of m. So 2 to the power of n plus k, this can be written as 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of k. And we are still subtracting this with 2 to the power of n, and this is equal to 2016. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rewrite 2016 as 2 to the power of 5 times 63. And this is still equal to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out 2 to the power of n from this. So if I factor out 2 to the power of n, I get 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of k divided by 2 to the power of n is simply 2 to the power of k, and 2 to the power of n divided by 2 to the power of n is 1, so minus 1. So we get 2 to the power of n times 2 to the power of k minus 1, and this is still equal to 2 to the power of 5 times 63. Now, as you can see, this is even, so I'm writing E for even. This is going to be odd. I'm going to write an O for odd, and this is odd because we're going to subtract 1 from the 2 to the power of k. This is 2 to the power of n, so any number that you plug in, this would be even because it's 2 to the power of something, and 2 is an even number. However, we're still going to subtract 1, so this is actually going to be odd. And now from this, remember, this is even. 2 to the power of anything will result in an even number, and 63 is odd. So I'm writing O for odd. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the evens equal to each other. So 2 to the power of n equals 2 to the power of 5. And because these two have the same bases, we know that the exponents are equal to each other, meaning n is equal to 5. And now what we're going to do is we're going to set the odds equal to each other. So 2 to the power of k minus 1 is equal to 63. So now if I add 1 on both sides, I get 2 to the power of k equals 63 plus 1 is 64. And what 2 to the power of what equals 64? 6. So k is equal to 6. So we know that m is equal to n plus k. So we already have the values for n and k. N is 5 and k is 6. Meaning m is equal to 5 plus 6, which is 11. So m is 11. So now we have our values for n and m.